What made you finally stand up to your parents? I was the quiet kid my whole life. My parents weren't mean like you see in movies where they're screaming and throwing things. They just controlled everything. And I mean everything. Our house had schedules taped to every single wall. Kitchen schedule, bathroom schedule, homework schedule. I had a chore list printed out fresh every Monday morning, sitting on my nightstand when I woke up. My phone was only allowed during what they called social hour, exactly 4:30 to 5:15 p.m. Not a minute before, not a minute after. The worst part? I couldn't close my bedroom door, ever. Not even when I was changing clothes. My dad would walk by and say, "Privacy leads to secrets, Zane. Secrets lead to bad choices." I'd be standing there in my underwear trying to get dressed for school, and my mom would pop her head in to remind me about some random task. I followed every rule. I never questioned anything. When my friends asked why I couldn't hang out after school, I'd just shrug and say my parents were strict. When they asked why I couldn't sleep over anywhere, I'd make up some excuse about being allergic to cats or whatever. Senior year changed everything, though. I'd been secretly working on art projects during lunch breaks at school. My art teacher kept telling me I had real talent, that I should apply to design programs. So I did something crazy. I applied to this amazing design school in Oregon, used the school counselor's address so my parents wouldn't find out. The whole application process took months. I'd stay after school to work on my portfolio, telling my parents I had mandatory study hall. The day the acceptance letter came, I was shaking. Full scholarship, everything paid for. It was like winning the lottery. I walked into our kitchen where my parents were eating dinner at exactly 6 p.m. like always. They had this rule that dinner conversation could only be about productive topics, school grades, chores, or current events from approved news sources. I put the letter right on the table between their plates. "I got into a design college," I said, my voice barely above a whisper, "in Oregon. They gave me a full ride scholarship." My mom looked up like I'd just told her I was joining a cult. My dad kept chewing his food, didn't even glance at the letter. "You're not going," he said, still looking at his plate. "What?" I couldn't believe how casual he sounded. "You're staying here. You'll do the online accounting courses we already signed you up for. Discussion over." I stared at them. "But it's a full scholarship. I don't understand. It won't cost you anything." My mom finally spoke up. "Creative jobs are for people who want to live in poverty, Zane. We've already paid for your accounting courses. You start in the fall." Something snapped inside me. For 17 years, I'd been the perfect obedient kid. I'd followed every schedule, done every chore, never complained about the no privacy rule or the phone restrictions. But this was my future they were deciding without even asking what I wanted. My hands started shaking, but not from fear this time. I was furious. I pulled out my phone and hit record. "I'm 17 years old," I said into the camera. "I just got accepted to my dream school with a full scholarship, and my parents are refusing to let me go. Not because we can't afford it, not because it's a bad school, but because they want complete control over my life." My dad shot up from his chair so fast he knocked over his water glass. "Turn that off right now!" My mom lunged toward me, trying to grab my phone. "Zane, stop this immediately!" I dodged around the kitchen table, still recording. "I'm not allowed to close my bedroom door. I can only use my phone for 45 minutes a day. I have a printed schedule for everything I do. This isn't normal." I ran to the bathroom and locked the door. My parents were banging on it, yelling at me to come out and delete the video. Instead, I sent it directly to Mrs. Kim, my school counselor, along with a long text explaining everything. She called me 20 minutes later. "Zane, I'm coming to pick you up tomorrow morning. We're going to figure this out." The next day, child services showed up at our house. Turns out when you're almost 18 and being denied basic privacy rights and having your future controlled to this extreme, it raises some serious red flags. Mrs. Kim had contacted them after seeing my video and hearing about years of this kind of control. The social worker interviewed me separately from my parents. Within a week, I was placed in a student housing program connected to my school. They helped me file for independence, which meant I could accept the scholarship without my parents' permission. I packed my stuff 3 days before my 18th birthday. My parents stood in the doorway watching me, but they didn't say a word. No goodbye, nothing. They never even called me after I left.